you?
I itch.
Can't you leave the fleas alone till we've eaten?
They're not leaving me alone, man. Why should I give them a break?
Listen, I slept in the same hellhole with probably the same fleas. And look at me, I'm fine.
Except for a bad case of attitude.
Well, I didn't get much sleep.
Neither did I.
Every time I looked at you, you were dead to the world.
I wasn't sleeping. I was paralyzed with the heat.
Not too paralyzed to snore.
I don't snore.
Well, that wasn't a mariachi band I was listening to.
Robert, we're quarreling. I hate it when we quarrel.
Oh, you're right. We both had a lousy night's sleep. Complicated by the fact that that wretched little photographic store wasn't open, which has cost us a day. We're tired, dirty, grouchy.
Itchy.
And we got work to do.
Right, I think the Photoshop's probably open by now, don't you?
Should be. Let's get over there and get the photograph of that sifter enlarged.
I got a real strong feeling that photo, the markings mean something on that photo.
So do I. Trouble.
You know, it's not too late for you to back out of this.
And leave you to muck along all on your own?
I'm not alone.
Listen, we're going to get you out of this, whatever it takes.
You know, it's almost worth it to be in this mess, just to be on the road with you again.
All right, look, let's you, me, and your fan club get on with it.
All right, you lead the way.
That was beautiful. Look at the carving, it's so detailed. All those funny little symbols, they mean something?
Oh, yeah. The Aztecs had a surprisingly sophisticated system of writing. They developed elaborate signs and symbols to record their history.
Oh, they actually had books?
Well, in a sense they did. Most of their writing was on rough buckskin.
Must have been quite an educated culture.
Yeah, it was until 1556.
Oh, what happened then?
Then a Spanish bishop by the name of Diego de Landa took it upon himself to burn most of the Aztec books.
Why?
Oh, I don't know why exactly, but he said something. I can't remember exactly what it was, but I read it somewhere some time ago. In essence, what he did say was, after deciphering the Aztec writings, he felt that they were based in nothing but lies and superstition, so he went out and torched every book he could find.
Oh, that's incredible.
Yeah, it was incredible, and thanks in large part to the religious zeal of Delande and others like him. Now we only have, about 1/3 of the pre-Columbian hieroglyphics can be deciphered.
Oh, that's such a shame. Imagine how much we could learn about them if we had access to their records.
No, we have the records, Holly. We just can't read them.
Well, you obviously understand quite a bit.
Well, I understand some of them. That's only because Aztec picture writing has always fascinated me. Here, this piece here, for example. Now, this tells us who made it, when it was made, and where it was made.
Matthew?
Oh, sure. Yeah, go ahead. Now, it's predominantly glyphics and symbols, but Aztec pictorial writing oftentimes gave us a philosophical lesson. Now, for example, you see these two kneeling gods with the different piles of braided hair on top of their head?
Yeah, what would that mean?
Well, the hair itself represents time, or more precisely, history. The gods literally carried their past around with them, both the good times and the bad times, because the Aztecs believed that good and evil coexist. In other words, you couldn't have one without the other.
In other words, you have to experience the bad times before you can appreciate the good times.
Exactly. So, in effect, the kneeling gods are bearing witness to the quest for divine order, or the difference between good and evil.
Well, that's fascinating. I'd love to learn more about that.
Well, in that case, then we should probably explore all of my old artifacts, and I'll take you back on a journey through time.
Senor, muchas gracias. All right, go over these symbols. They're very decorative.
They got to mean more than that. It's a case of us trying to figure out what.
Well, I'm listening.
Let's go up to the canteen and maybe we'll get inspired.
Margarita logic.
Whatever's going to work. Well, I've had my hand in my pocket since I got it. I paid for the hotel last night. I bought all the drinks. What? I didn't know it. I paid for all the gas. I paid for the hotel. All the drinks last night. You got
Oh, the most beautiful part of this picture never made it in the frame.
Let's pass on the sentiment, huh? You have a charge of murder hanging over your head.
Right, okay. Well, what do we got?
All right. Now, we have 4 very definite markings at the head of the scepter.
Right, and this top one looks to me like some kind of an eye.
This could be water. This here maybe even a church or a pyramid.
That looks like steps. What does it all mean?
The Aztecs used to write in symbols. These symbols have got to mean something. Now, let's go back over it. Now, what's happened?
The bandito stole the scepter and framed me for murder. That's what happened.
Now, it's pretty obvious that Peter must have wanted the scepter. However, if that were the case, why hasn't he paid off the men and split? And then sold the scepter?
That's a good point.
Instead, the guy is still nosing around when he could be leading the good life somewhere in South America.
Yeah, he's got to know that there's a bunch of people looking for him here in Mexico.
Right. And men only take a big risk when there's big gain at the end of it, and he thinks that he hasn't found it yet.
So what are you saying? You think that maybe this involves some more money than whatever the scepter is worth?
Possibly true, the guy's committed murder. Now, you don't kill unless you've got a good reason. You ever hear stories about lost treasure?
None that I believe.
A lot of people do. Look, it's a well-known fact that the Aztecs, they hoarded gold and silver and jewelry and priceless objects. You know, very little of that stuff was ever found.
Now, wait a minute. Are you saying that you think the scepter had something to do with the lost Aztec treasure?
I don't know, but let's kick it around for a second or two.
All right, I got nothing better to do.
Now.
Thanks.
Thank you. Okay, now, let's just suppose now for a second that these markings here point to something. They're clues, say, almost like a map.
Go on.
Well, that's as far as I've got with it.
Well, I don't know, Robert. It seems a little far out, don't you think?
Can you ever recall one of our capers that wasn't?
Good point. Okay, go on.
Okay, well, let's head out to the boulders. Obviously, there was a reason why the Peter went there.
Yeah, well, I did. I don't expect this to be so complicated when I asked you to come in on it, man.
You want to know the truth?
Huh.
I was kind of hoping it would be.
Why?
I need a change.
From what?
Pushing papers around a police commissioner's desk gave me too much time to think.
About what?
All the world going on outside my office. Now, every now and again, I'd get a postcard from a WSB mate, someone in the field. It'd be a cryptic message, just enough to tell me that he was on the sign. But suddenly, I'd start to feel like I was missing something.
You just can't get over that need for adventure, can you?
Doesn't look as if you can either.
Hey, look, I didn't ask for this. I mean, I didn't volunteer for this at all. It was just sort of dumped on me.
Are you trying to tell me that Laura is enough in your life?
Well, life with Laura is an adventure, that's for sure.
I sure as hell wish I could lose these cravings that easily.
Well, maybe this will do it for you. But you know...
Maybe it will.
But there's this other point that I want to make to you. This isn't like the old days. I mean, you got a whole life for yourself going now, you know. This isn't like the times I used to be able to knock you up in the middle of the day or night and just say, let's go, and you
I
did.
did, though, didn't I? Didn't I?
Yeah, you did. And I really appreciate it.
Look, I'm in this to the end.
Spencer and Scorpio south of the border.
Luna and Low, Yogi and Boo. Let's have a drink.
Here's the other
Maybe see if we can spare some water, huh?
Permiso, señora.
agua para dos viajeros cansados. Yes, canteen. Ah, sí, gracias.
Gracias.
You still haven't said you're happy to see me.
Well, maybe I'm a little more surprised than anything.
Why are you so wary? You know how I feel about you. I always wanted to join you. And I wanted to warn you that Scorpio and Spencer were on your trail.
Well, I am grateful for that. But if you really left Darnley for good...
Yes. Look, I've taken all I can from that man.
Mm-hmm. Personally, maybe, but what about financially? I can't offer you what Darnley can.
There are other things besides money.
I gotta take a range check.
Because we really got to keep moving right now.
I really thought I took care of Spencer for good, laying that murder rap on him.
Well, suppose Theo will catch up with him.
Yeah, well, I sure hope to hell they do it soon. I mean, I've wasted enough time as it is, following the wrong directions from those two other eyes on the rock.
Look, you had no way of knowing which was the correct eye.
No, not 1 in 3 chance, though.
At least we're on the right track now.
Finally. Let's go. Gracias, senor. Gracias.
Gracias.
Gotta get out of here. Look, my face is plastered all over town. What a terrible likeness. However, I finished. What does it mean? Not a clue. Oh, do you think Peter's figured it out? Man, we've got to decipher these things. Then let's go and talk to Donley. If anybody knows about Aztecs, he does.